After so many years, hounded by hatred and trapped by fear, I'm in a box. I've got no place to go. If I follow my mind, I know I slaughter my own. Help me, I'm the prisoner. Won't you hear my plea? I need somebody, yeah, to listen to me. I beg you, brothers and sisters, I'm counting on you.
Peace and love. Welcome to the N.E.P.P.C podcast. And I'm Brother Frank, and I'm with former political prisoner
Abdul Islam.
N.E.P.P.C is the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition. It was founded in 2015 by Sekou Odinga and others. Sekou Odinga knew that he couldn't forget about those who were in prison because of their political work, their political organizing, and he had to free them. So he put together an organization that was committed to doing that. And since its inception, a number of political prisoners have come home. Unfortunately, some have transitioned while in prison. Today's episode, we focus on the Virgin Island 3. The Virgin Island 3 consists of some political prisoners who've been in prison for over 50 years now. That's Abdul Aziz, Hanif Bey, Malik El Amin. And we'll talk about them, what they mean, and why they need to be remembered. So during the early 70s, there was a shooting that happened in the Fountain Valley Gulf. This was during the time of the Virgin Island independence movement. The brothers that I just mentioned were a part of that movement. So this shooting occurs, and the colonial powers, along with the FBI, does an intense investigation. A number of brothers were tortured. A number of confessions was made because of these tortures. The people who were gathered up, everyone came home besides these three brothers. So, we have to ask ourselves, why is that? Why are these brothers not home? What was the climate during this time? What I did for circulating, and we have to do a serious examination, or why are these brothers not being talked about as much as they should be? You go online and research the Virgin Island 3. They have a campaign. They taking donations, donate, write them, ask them questions. These brothers are up there in age. When they first start their prison terms, they were in their early 20s, and now they into their 70s. And we want to bring them home. We don't want them to die in prison, but that's going to take an organized effort. We have to be involved. We have to commit ourselves to doing that act, because we want people to fight. But if they fight and they're forgotten and they die in prison, then that's discouraging. So, Brother Abdul Islam, as we research this, what research did you come across regarding these brothers?
Yeah, I'm gonna share that with the brothers and sisters out there. I want to say greetings, peace, black power. As Brother Frank said, the period in the early 1970s was a very, very turbulent period, great upheaval. And this was the case in the Virgin Islands also, at a time when there was a massacre occurred, at a golf course, and many people were rounded up, questioned, and tortured. And out of that torture, you got some confessions. So how valid is confessions that come from being tortured? You know, somebody that got a torch, you understand, on your skin and telling you to say you did it. You understand? I mean, you know, to a jury of racists, a jury of lunatic racists, that would be valid evidence. But what is it to you, brothers and sisters? You know, so 3 brothers that are still incarcerated, 50 years. You know, things they have in common with all of them during their incarceration have done outreach work to youth, and, you know, to stop persuade youth away from crime and away from violence. You know, and all of them also have serious health issues. You know, so I'm gonna use these old funny looking glasses, you know, so I can read this, you know, because my eyesight ain't what it used to be, you know. First of all, Brother Abdulaziz has advanced heart disease, severe arthritis, degenerative disc disease, injured spinal cord, and has had 2 heart attacks, you know, has done outreach to youth, to the schools, the youth rehab centers, you know. So he continued, in spite of being incarcerated away from the public, you know, he is continued to give his love to young brothers and sisters, you know, by being involvement in that type of work within the prison. Hanisha Bass Babe has headed Awaken Mentoring Group, help troubled youth avoid violence, has hepatitis 3, liver damage, is untreated. And I got Malik Alameen, okay, health resistant prostate cancer, health resistant prostate cancer, help away, is help in youth with Awakening Mentoring Group, Prisoner Advisory Council, and he's also done poetry. You know, I want to read. I got one of his poems.
So while Brother Abdul Haq Islam, former political prisoner, finds that poem, that powerful poem, it's very important that we understand that these brothers are going through some serious health crisis. We got to bring them home. We need your support. We need your participation. We need your creativity. Contact the Northeast Political Prisoner Coalition regarding what you can do. Contact us at 347-679-3936. That's one of our numbers. But this number, you can directly get to me. I'll pick up. We'll have a conversation. We'll talk about what we are doing, and we talk about what you can be doing. If you're part of a faith organization, please contact me at 347-679-3936. Let me know that I can speak at your place of congregation, your place of meeting, your place of worship. I only need about 3 to 5 minutes. I won't be too long, but I'll be strong. Again, that's 347-679-3936. Let's not let our brothers and sisters, right? Because we can't forget Joy Powell. She's also a political prisoner. Don't let them die in prison. So, Brother Abdul Haq Islam, with that poem.
Yes, sir. Boom. Press 1 button, press 2 button, right. We are power. We are living in an environment of manipulation and control, fear. We are living in a world demanding equal rights, progress, freedom, power, justice. Many are victims, many are survivors, many are collaborators, and there are others, but we are power. We who? The world around you, the world around you, the people who know what to do, when to do and do it. And we make progress. We need justice. We need freedom. Yet we are power. We are living through physical frustration, mental anguish, and sometimes the atmosphere is dull. Sometimes it is bright. Then sometimes it is in between. I am sure you are you understand what I mean. But looking at all you people coming together for one common cause, justice, freedom, I feel power. I feel progress. I feel success. And always remember, you and I become we. We are together or far apart, and we are control. We are power. We, you and I, we, you, us, them, all of us, we still control and create controls all, but still we're together. We are power. So let's take a stand and exercise our power, take control, and make it better for all us together. Boom. So that's a beautiful poem about power, you know. That's one thing we need. We always emphasize that the masses, the great masses of Black people, you understand, with the idea of justice and freedom in their hearts and coming together for that united cause, you know, that unity. We always talk about unity, you know, and it's a beautiful thing, you know. We just had Black Solidarity Day, you know, and Black Solidarity Day is a day when we actually do the unity. We've been talking about so much. We need to have some unity. We actually put it into practice, you understand? Put it in our minds, you understand? We put it inside us with power. It becomes power, you know. So we appreciate the poem, you understand, by our brother, you know. And like I said, all three of these political prisoners that we are recognizing today, all of them have in common that while inside, they have become leadership and parts of organizations that's reaching out to youth, you understand, to guide the youth away from violence, away from, away from killing one another.
But I want to say something. You said that Black Solidarity Day, we already had that. That's coming. That comes before election time. So we have to know what we're going to have solidarity around when we deal with Black Solidarity Day. So go ahead, brother. Proceed.
Yeah, that's boom, a bullet in my head for that. But your Black Solidarity Day is coming, you know, no school, no shopping,
no work.
And no work. So those are three areas, education, labor, and economics, you know, three strategic areas, you understand, that we are executing, controlling, taking ourselves out of that. So as we deal with those strategic entities in our lives, that we have control of them, you understand? And we have control through the masses, millions and millions and millions of our people, understanding the strategic area of these, the strategicness of these areas of concern, you know, informing the future, what the future is going to be, you know. And so one brother said that Black Solidarity Day should last a month. I said we should think about these things every day, you understand, and that spread the message among the masses that you know, this is the time for power, you know, this is the time for Black power, you know, and without a doubt, Black power is going to win, you know, and we're going to have more power when we free all our political prisoners.
Absolutely, you know, because we have to be responsible for freeing our political prisoners, because this is a war of ideas, and with those wars, with war comes casualties, right? You have martyrs, you have political prisoners, but you know, as war comes, there's going to be an advancement, and there's going to be not times where we're not going to advance as much as we would like to, but that doesn't mean that we stop fighting, right? So in the book, a history, an American story, is about the Shakur family, Saladin Shakur, and Lumumba Shakur, Zayd Shakur, Sekou Denga, and a number of brothers and sisters that were a part of that time period that dealt with the power of Black Power, right? The politics of Black Power. You're talking about the Black Liberation Army. You're talking about the Black Panther Party, and I bring that up to say that you know, Afeni Shakur says that, you know, in revolution, you win or die. You know, that's the seriousness of it. And today, right, we either fight or we lose, or we fight until we win, or we just accept the current conditions and we continue to suffer the way we've been suffering, right? We have lack of affordable housing. We have the worst of everything. And that's because it's a lack of power. And power comes by our ability to organize our resources, to have solidarity around particular ideas. And when we talk about the Virgin Island 3, we're talking about a time period where you had a struggle for independence, a struggle for power. You know, you have this is a very important area around tourism, and you can imagine how much money was brought into that island off of tourism. And now you got to think who is getting that money, who is benefiting all the off tourists coming to that island. Very important question is to ask, because if that money is not circulating amongst common people, not being utilized for food, clothing, and shelter, then you're going to have one class of people getting the bulk of the money coming in and using it for their own interests, and ignoring the common people. So this struggle for independence is struggle for power, and we have to understand the time period that was going on and the things that were happening, and the politics of those who were involved in the Virgin Island independence movement. They were struggling for self-determination. They understood what was correct for them, and they understood what had to be done. So when you have a moment when you have this violent act that occurs when these tourists and these three workers are being killed, right? The four tourists and four workers that were killed. Now it allows those in authority to attack these movements and say that these movements are responsible for that. They know who is speaking what, and they know who's going to be targeted. And it's an opportunity for those who have that authority to smash those movements, at least temporarily, right? Because wherever there's oppression, there's going to be resistance. So even when you get rid of one movement, you give birth to another movement, because people are not going to watch their people suffer, right? If I love you and you love me, you don't receive joy from seeing me suffering. You become angry. You become inspired to do something. So as I did research and come across the time 1950, it's the time you have radio stations, and now ideas are being brought to people. So now people are starting to understand that they're not in a situation that's in isolation, that they're a part of an entire system that's happening, that people who look like them are being oppressed in different places. So now your consciousness is raised, and now you're going to start asking yourself questions as, what can I do? In fact, I have to do something. I just have to know what I'm going to do. So now you're a part of a strong movement. You're deciding that, you know, you have to gain other followers, gain other participants in this particular act, and of organizing for self-determination, and deciding it's in this way in which we'll get power. We can control what we have regarding food, clothing, and shelter. So when we talk about the Virgin Island 3, Abdul Aziz, Hanif Bey, Malik El Amin, we're talking about very strong, powerful brothers who understood that if I'm in prison, I'm going to continue to organize. I'm not going to be here allowing time to just pass me by. They were involved in organizing the youth, organizing those prisoners who didn't understand what was happening. And that says a lot about their character. And we have to honor that. We have to respect what they're doing by doing what we can in opposition, right? We have more flexibility than they have. So we should be writing them. And once I tell you to do something, I got to make sure I'm doing it. So I have to write Abdul Aziz. I got to write Hanif Bey. And I also got to write Malik El Amin.
And share their words with y'all.
Right, and share their response, right? I'm still waiting for Ronald Reed to respond to the letter that I sent. But I know that that's my assignment, right? We want to give each other assignments, and we want to follow up with our assignments to make sure that we are staying on top of what we said that we were supposed to be doing, and that it doesn't just become a time to just give our mouths exercise, to be saying things that sound good without having any intentions or carrying out any actions that are leading to the release of our political prisoners. Because, right, whether you're an African of African descent in America or in so-called America in the United States, or you're a person of African descent in St. Croix, right? You're still dealing with the same oppression until you are vindicated. And the only vindication that can be possible is a complete liberation, complete power to what's necessary for a person or people to live, right? They need the complete control over food, clothing, and shelter. They don't need no interruption to their self-determination. When you think about the brother of Virgin Island 3, Hanif Bey, Malik El Amin, also Abdul Aziz. At one point in your political development, did you come across these brothers, and what did it make you think about them regarding
well,
what they
actually,
struggled for?
I discovered these brothers, in later years through reading. I never, personally came in contact with. I did come in contact with a few political prisoners while I was in prison, but not these particular brothers. But when I think about these brothers, I think about, one thing that comes to mind is what Brother Frank right here just said. A war of ideas. Um, and the people, the masses of Black people, you got to become soldiers. We need millions and millions and millions, hundreds of millions of fire-breathing soldiers in this war of ideas to put down those slavish ideas, and to uplift those ideas, which bring us liberation, which exhilarate us, which make us feel proud, which make us feel good about ourselves, fighting for what is right, fighting for freedom, fighting for justice, to relieve the pain of many, much of humanity, that suffers through the oppression, the bullets, the bayonets, the flamethrowers, that are used to steal nations, just as they were trying to steal the Virgin Islands, where people's resources are robbed and stolen. The Virgin Islands, the corporations, were stealing the wealth generated through tourism, and the people wasn't benefiting whatsoever, from what's coming from their nation, whether it's natural resources, tourism, or whatever, So the ideas that must prevail, is those higher levels of our humanity that loves freedom, that loves truth, which loves justice. We got to put some atomic power, you understand, in the struggle for justice. It's got to have that electricity that makes things run. You understand? And not just sitting there dead, laying on the ground like a dead mouse, but no, up, on your feet, standing tall, trying to reach the sun, you understand? Fighting for what is right, feeling beautiful inside, and not feeling horrible and miserable, because of failing to stand up when a stand is called for, blaming yourself, not feeling the manhood or the womanhood that is so beautiful and valuable in this struggle. Putting that into the struggle, you understand? And the enemy cannot win without that. The enemy cannot win against the millions, the hundreds of millions of people fighting for what is right with the love of what is right in them, and that love becoming, you understand, a tool, a machine, you understand, is making things work.
Absolutely. So, that being said, we have a responsibility for those who are making those sacrifices and making those commitments to advance our people. They're doing the work regardless of where they at, and we have to show gratitude. We have to show appreciation, and that's why these discussions that we have on this platform is so important. And it's also important that you show appreciation by sharing. Share with 10 contacts. Please hit like. Let us know who you are. We would like to have a continuous conversations about you regarding political prisoners and not forgetting them and not allowing them die in prison. I'm thinking about these brothers. This was situation happened in St. Croix. So if you happen to live in St. Croix, you should be made aware about them. You should, if you're a teacher in St. Croix, you should have them being taught in a curriculum, right? The students should be made known about their independent movements, right? You have Virgin Island Independence Day. What does that mean if you don't talk about these brothers? If you don't talk about Abdul Aziz, Malik El Amin, and Hanif Bey, if you're not mentioning them in the independence celebration, then why is that? Then you're lacking regarding appreciation for those who made commitments and sacrifices. If you're involved in a church or a masjid in that particular area, why are you not talking about the Virgin Island Three? You know, much can be gained off of a discussion, right? A discussion leads to further discussions. Those further discussions leads to action. Those actions are heightened, and then now those who make those decisions regarding whether these brothers are going to die in prison or not are being pressured, right? Because everyone's in a position. They're in a position because of someone who elected them, someone who was confident in what they were saying. So now you have to answer to those who elected you. And that's the power that we have when we make those elections. And we have to let those who are being elected know that they have to answer to us. So you happen to be in St. Croix and you voting for a particular candidate, ask that candidate, where's your position on the Virgin Island 3? Are you going to let them home? They've been incarcerated for all these years. And as Brother Abdul Haq Islam just laid down, they have health issues. Or are they going to die in prison? Are you going to ignore the fact that they've been in prison for so long? And this is supposed to be a correctional facility. And if so, how long is it until they're corrected? You say that they're a threat. How could you be a threat if you have these health issues, right? There should be some serious talks about getting them released.
A point of them being elders is that elders is much less likely of elders being involved in recidivism, going back and forth to prison. Very much less likely, them being elders. That's another point to be considered.
Absolutely. So these points are valid. These points must be emphasized by common people like you, me, and Abdul Haq. And we gotta be diligent with our work. We gotta be consistent. We gotta continue to say the name of the Virgin Island 3. We gotta make sure that they are on the agenda in any forum that's being taught about the St. Croix history of independence, Virgin Island independence movement. These brothers got to be discussed, right? Because sometimes we hear people talking about the advancement of a particular group of people, but yet they omit those who made sacrifices, the political prisoners, the martyrs. And, that's a serious smack in the face for those who made sacrifices, because you have to tell a story as much in totality as possible. There are key ideas that you can't forget. Like when you're talking about colonial oppression, right? And then you talking about your liberation from the colonial power. You got to deal with that land, right? Land is the basis of independence, so you can't ignore that. Now you say, all right, so you have your independence. Okay, now you need your land. You have your independence, right? Now you need your political prisoners free. You have your independence. You need your martyrs recognized. You got to change the names of those streets. Those streets can no longer be named after your oppressor and your oppressor's heroes. They got to be named after you and your heroes and those who made commitments and sacrifice to advance you. This is the new ideas. This is what Che was talking about when he was talking about the new man. We have to raise our consciousness. We have to make stronger and more powerful demands regarding our new reality. And these are questions that are going to come up at one point or another. And it's questions that we have to be ready to answer. So, you know, we're coming to a close. We got a few minutes, about 2 more minutes before we wrap this episode up. So once again, if you're a part of a teaching, if you're part of a teaching organization, make sure you talk about the Virgin Island 3, Abdul Aziz, Hanif Bey, Malik El Amin. Do some work around organizing for political prisoners. Contact the Northeast Political Prisoners Coalition at 347-679-3936. Consider a donation. $1 is not too small, and more than $1 is not too big. You can cash app us at SefuSankofa, SefuSankofa, and let me know where you want that money going to regarding who, if it's a political prisoner specifically, or if it's an idea specifically. So, Brother Abdul Haq Islam, your closing remarks, my brother?
Is that we are dealing with a very dumb enemy. You know, we are dealing with an enemy so dumb that he lets you know exactly what will hurt him the most and tell you not to do it. You know, you understand? Black Solidarity Day is coming up, and one of the strategic areas that we deal with in Black Solidarity Day is education. You know, so the enemy tell you not to study history. Do not do critical race theory, which is an analysis, you know, of how this enemy of humanity has stolen our lives, our resources, our lands. You understand, and become very, very extremely rich. You understand, and that a resistance has developed to this. You understand, a resistance that stands at the heart of oppression. You know, so they're telling you not to study this history. You know, is really telling us to study this history because it's a powerful tool. You understand? To hit the dumb bunny upside of the funny dumb bunny upside his head. You understand? And for us to knock him out and for us to win. Black power. Free all political prisoners.